This song. This song is for Hylix 2. It's a game that I've been wanting to play for a while. But I guess if I wanted to play Hylix 2, I would have to stream Hylix 1 first. And yet you are playing the more. I have a lot of games on my wish list. What can I say? There's so many games that I want to stream. I still need to finish Hollow Knight, obviously. But here, let me turn down Hylix and let me turn up the actual game audio. There's Celeste. I have Celeste, and I've been wanting to play that. Let's see. And I'll put sound effects like this. Okay, hopefully that's not too quiet. Let me know if it is though. Awesome. I got this game in the racial equality bundle 2 years ago. And okay, TMP. I'll drink to that. The stream is also very late because I may have overslept a bit. Teehee, my bad. Okay, I'm drinking water just like you requested. Thanks, TMP, though. I think I probably really needed that. We out here, we drink H2O, we ball. Let's start a new game then. September 14th, 10:15 a.m. Silly 4:58 time zone. I don't actually know the controls, we'll see. It's an email. Oh, okay. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man. I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck, Matthew J., funeral director, Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. I see, okay. From Amy Rose, who I assume I'm working under. Well, you're new here, so it's probably just best I explain everything, where everything is. In your office preparation room, you'll find your cremation station, cremulator station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have experience working with these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. Best, Amy Rose, founder and director. From Jen Love. Oh, wow. Good luck, you beautiful and smart babe, you. Huh, I guess my subject lines to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's just not something I really think that much about. I should look into this. Learn more about your world and industry, because as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing! I can't believe someone paid me off to move to London, and not London ON, serial killer capital of Canada, to work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. I also signed you up for a funeral home's monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift. / I love you / I'm super proud of you gift. Love you, love you, love you. Jen L. I'm gonna drink more water. My throat. Oh, it's already crust. I slept for a very long time. Today's test. Hello, Charlie. I hope you settled in okay so far. Hi, T-Dark. I'm reading emails for, very rooting gameplay experience. It's good to see you, though. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said that you were really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Oh, because everyone else is dead. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia. Oop. Oh, let me scroll down. My bad. I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I'd like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon. Oh, this is the relative of the deceased. Dear Amy, we're happy to be with Rose and daughters for my mother's funeral. We understand that there are usually procedures that must be followed in these situations, but could you kindly not embalm my mother? That would be greatly appreciated, and we will proceed with a closed casket for the service. I just know she wouldn't have wanted her death to have a negative impact on the environment, and since she fought so hard to beat her heart disease and to live healthily, it would be a shame to have her final moments be countered to the way she lived. I see. Thank you for anything you can do to help us in the matter. And then this is what Amy said. Of course, we will happily oblige your request for no embalming and a closed casket. I'll ensure our funeral director receives your request. And then this is where we got that. Now, what's the last one? Oh, it's the newsletter that Jen signed us up for. Okay. Thanks for subscribing. Each month, we bring you a newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. I really can't believe we have to write this one out, but since we said we'll answer your most popular questions, here we are, because this is definitely one of the most popular questions. Boop, scrolling down. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that, but here are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at a funeral. Generally, following the guidelines of don't be a jerk should work. 1. Don't be on your cell phone. Don't make a TikTok at a funeral. Oh my god, T-Dark. Oh my god. You're right, though. We understand you're busy, but this is a time and a place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, don't do so inside the funeral home. Don't be loud and obnoxious. You can share happy stories, but other people are also grieving and working through their own healing process. Being quiet gives other people space that they might need. Don't get drunk. Everyone can deal with their feelings in their own ways. Just remember to be respectful with the grieving family and friends. Happily reminisce. Sometimes, remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the deceased can be a productive part of the healing process. Give condolences. It's not easy knowing what to say to someone, but even a simple, "I'm thinking of you" can go a long way. Dress appropriately. What this looks like will change depending and based on the customs of the deceased and their culture, but always dress in a way that shows respect to the deceased and their grieving family. Give a gift or sign the registration book. This can be flowers or a nice card, but it's the thought that counts here. Sometimes this can be even just cooking dinner for the grieving family. Anything that shows you care and want to help them through the healing process is what matters here. Be kind and helpful. Ooh, and I see there's another tab I can click on? Oh, oh god, that font is tiny. That font is, it's so tiny. But wow, look at that. So, burial with open casket ceremony and reception. Wow, that's a lot of money. I could probably, if I wanted to, I could only probably afford direct cremation with no ceremony or reception. Man, who knew being dead was so expensive? Okay, let me look at our tasks. I'm gonna send a response. I should have read my task, but it's okay. I'm sure the game will walk me through it. This is like the tutorial? Hello, Mrs. Garcia. This is the prep room where you'll prepare bodies for burial and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you are just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and drag it over the body to clean it. Oh, that's a sound. That's it, you're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of the dressing and putting her in a casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You are responsible for taking care of the deceased body, but it's also important to pay your respects to their loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. Are we dressed? Yeah, we were dressed for the part. She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. That's... yeah, I guess. Damn, Shardy. Okay. We usually don't small talk a lot at these things. At least that's what I was always taught. Oh, my bad. I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy. But it's always so cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters that she used to knit for me now. Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? I guess they don't serve food here. I mean, there's some food, but I'm sure it's not that filling. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Happy meal after the funeral. We can get you some chicken nuggets after the funeral, dear. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be using a chemical that is known to cause cancer and putting it into the ground like that. Or into the sewer. That's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain? At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now. October 11th, 10:09 a.m. Back into the grind for me. Oh. I guess I'm preparing my station here. Jennifer Valentine. Oh god. Should I read this from the very beginning? Okay, from Jennifer Valentine. Can I just rant for a second? Oh, is this Jen? Yeah. I guess. Yeah, it's Jen, but this is her professional account, I guess. Can I rant for just a second? I am so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, male colleagues, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse. So it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, or even though dress codes are such sexist BS anyway. And like, I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in false concern. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Sorry. I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I've cooled off a bit. Jen L. Resume curator. Okay, she can vent to my professional email. I don't mind. Okay, so let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing tight Lacer's liver specimen, which we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing in her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associate it with fainting or hysteria, sigh, it's actually been associated with visceroptosis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but can also be caused by being pregnant, so... Too long, don't read. Corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage, and I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kind of things I specifically research, and yet I'm treated like I know nothing about. I'm having a day, Charlie. Jen L. Damn, Jen, I'm sorry. Let's see what my next job is. Okay. Here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval. An elderly man died of an old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter, Lizzie Duval, if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. Okay. P.S. Charlie dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. Aw, Amy is so sweet. I like her a lot. Oh, it's from the previous family. Hi, Amy. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together. It meant a lot. So what I'm saying is, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way. And I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making this difficult time easier for all of us. Best, Mia. Aw, that's really nice. Just passing this message along. Thanks for the hard work, Charlie. Thanks, Amy. Oh, damn, Matthew. Okay. Let me drink some water before I read this, Matthew. Whew. A story about death. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients on their last trip around town, and I was thinking, strange, I know. Did I ever tell you about the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager, about to start university. A friend of mine was killed in a car accident, totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff, messed me and my friends up real good. But so, the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we at least had 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, Over in the procession, going to the ceremony, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out, some asshat driver who doesn't know how not to get in the way of our procession drove through the intersection and smashed straight into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyways, one of my friends was in the same car as me, the one who got the phone call, hung up, and started laughing, just laughing her ass off in a way that makes you not sure if they're really just crying or if they've really fully gone off the deep end. And she laughed, and we all started giggling because, go figure, life is messed up sometimes, There's no moral, no point to that story, I guess. I just remembered that story and wanted to tell you, because we work with death all the time, and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Oh, before you get any ideas, this has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later, and is nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. Matthew J. I see. Alright, let's see our newsletter. What to wear when you're attending a funeral from a different culture. We all know everyone wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, and refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around the grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? And a big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more towards the formal, black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know that this goes back to the days of the Roman Empire where people would wear black as a symbol for mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol for mourning, though. And if you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intentions, the wrong choice could mean accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and Chinese cultures, white is a typical color for funerals. For Islam, though, it is less about the color you are wearing and more about how modestly you are dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. For Sikh funerals, I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Color of the clothing isn't as important as is dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. Actually, being respectful is just the #1 rule for any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you are attending to support a friend, family member, or partner, this day is not about you, so be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible, even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing at a funeral, or even if it just means asking how you can appropriately show your respects. I'm reading a lot. Wow. Anything new on this tab? No, I don't think so. Rose and Daughters Funeral Home was founded by my grandparents back in 1956. The Rose family has proudly served the area since then, providing personal, affordable funeral services for all. I'm proud to have carried on my family's business for the past 36 years, working with the best and brightest funeral directors and grief counselors in the area. 56. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you've recently experienced a loss and would like some help. I'd like us to help you through this hard time. Okay. Oh wait. I need to confirm that I'm doing it. So I'm embalming. I'm cleaning and embalming. Okay, I'll get on it. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. Alright, I'm getting that MF sponge. Oh, that sponge noise. Click on the razor and drag it over the body to shave it. In order to break rigor mortis, you'll have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. The eyes deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket to give it shape. To keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Click and drag the glue onto each eye to shut it. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth to give it shape. To keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. Click and drag the needle over the thread. Click and drag the needle and thread over the jaw to close it. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over the neck to make an incision. You're going to need a tube for draining the blood. Click on the tube and drag it into the neck incision. Click on the cannula and drag it into the cannula? This? And drag it into the carotid artery. This is how you get the preserving chemicals into the bloodstream. Now you'll need to connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the cannula. Wait. Okay, so like here? Oh. Click on the button on the embalming machine to turn it on. In order to evenly distribute the chemicals, you'll have to massage them to the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. Great, now let's sew up that incision. Click and drag the needle and thread over the incision to close it. Almost done. You'll need to drain the organs of any remaining fluids. Click on the trocar, and then click and hold the abdomen until all the liquid has been drained. Almost done. Oh, is there more? Oh, there is. My bad. And you're done. Mike will take care of Mr. Duval's makeup, as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. It's time to attend the funeral. I see. Fascinating. I had no idea embalming was like that. It's an open casket funeral. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, and then, poof, that person is gone. Just like, gone. Yeah, it's weird to think about for too long, like staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. So weird. How our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. So strange not seeing most people wear white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember, I haven't gone to many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but like, definitely not red, no matter what. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. Humming to himself. Is he on his phone? I think he is. Damn kid. December 2nd, 10:12 a.m. So we usually start working at like 9 to 10 a.m. from what I can see. I like that she cleans the area that we're about to be introduced to. Cremation. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Yes, it is burn time, Tidek. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Let's see, Lizzie Duval. Hi, Amy. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Thank you, Lizzie. Passing on this lovely thank you note. Thank you, Amy. Oh, it's Jen. Is this a different email? Yeah, it's no longer the Jennifer one, but I think this is her personal email. Meet cutes for death positive cuties. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anybody new since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask about your day, so maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom rant over. I'm gonna try it out because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet though. Oh wow, are we about to do some online dating? Some swiping? Is that a Tinder rule? I guess? I wouldn't know. Matthew. Oh no. Oh no. Amy Rose paycheck. Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. Take care. Okay. So Matthew's emailing me in response. He's forwarding it to us. Oh shit. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm gonna grab some fast food before heading the Hears over through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone. Swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm going to take the Hears through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. So you're a drive-thru, you're serving McDonald's, and someone pops in with the Hears. Oh man. LGBTQ funerals. Respect. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are at times subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families, and have had their hair cut, or are buried under the wrong names and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care, and this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funerals Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the front directive. Either enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, introspection of the body, or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it to observation obviously enters a world of issues since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased gender's identity as they lived it. So, a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserves the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survived the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage, but this doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who loved each other in the same way as any other couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. That's very nice. I'm looking to see if anything has changed in this. But no, prices have not changed. Oh, Amy. If you need to raise your prices a little, you know, like to account for inflation and society, you know, I'm sure people, but they pride themselves on being affordable, which I totally respect. I get it, you know? But like, you're struggling to make ends meet, my queen. Please. I'm gonna drink some water. That was a lot of reading, and I forgot to say I'll do my job. Let me do that actually. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we'll need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It is important to remove these before the cremation process, as to not damage them. Let's start by removing Mrs. Hall's necklace. Click and drag the necklace and place it on the purple tray. We will place the necklace in the urn with Mrs. Hall's remains later. I did not censor that as much as I'd liked. We need to be able to identify Mrs. Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click and drag the round identification tag and place it in the coffin. Great, Mrs. Hall is all set to be cremated now. This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash so much as bone fragments. Using the cremulator, we'll turn these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. I don't know that actually. Let's start by placing the urn in the cremulator. Click on the urn and drag it into the cremulator under the nozzle. Click and drag the bone fragments and drop them into the top of the cremulator. I really need a new mouse pad. I've been suffering. This kind of looks like a banana. Oh, I'm sorry. Now that all the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back into the counter. Oh, probably right here. Make sure to put Mrs. Hall's necklace back into the urn. Click and drag the necklace and drag it to the urn. Don't forget the tag. Click on the round identification tag and drag it to the urn. Last step, click on the urn's lid and drag it to the top of the urn. Well done. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it along some flowers. This is nice, in a weird way. Oh my gosh, I need to drink more water. Forgive me. Hydration. I've been reading a lot. This is nice in a weird way. She liked that we're all here talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Let me talk to these folks real quick. I'm glad she was cremated and not like in an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. Yeah, I bet it's hard for some. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. I'm guessing this is a registration book. I see. Valentine's Day. 10:14 a.m. Oh, we're at our desk. Were we on our phone? Were we on Tinder? Oh no! News about the future of Rose's and Daughter's funeral home. Hi all. It is with a heavy heart, very heavy heart, that I write to let you all know that Rose's and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me this would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct, but remorseful, Google said. You're very honest, Amy. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make sure Rose's and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose. In a lot of ways, and you've all become family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes and larger corporations than we are that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought, or I sold. Either way, soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated, a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose's and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose's and Daughters Funeral Homes for tax purposes, though honestly I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. This was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you weren't without a job. Aw, that's very considerate, Amy. I'm sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This is easier for me. Please understand. Sincerely, Amy Rose. Oh, that's rough. That's very rough. From Margarita Hall. Okay. Hi, Amy. I'm so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service, and she would have been happy with it. Such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again, from the bottom of my heart. Sincerely, Margarita. Or Margareta. Margareta. Why am I saying Margarita? Oh my gosh. Charlie, I thought you'd like to see this thank you note. Thank you, Amy, for forwarding this to me. From Mariana Reyes. Mariana? Hi, Amy. You asked if there was any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just, please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker, too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Thanks. You see the note about the pacemaker, they can be tricky. Okay, so I'll have to remove the pacemaker. Oh no. This looks sad. Oh no. Oh. I'm scared. From Ryan Garcia. Hi, Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles I should reach out, and you would know somebody I could talk to about this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother had lived a full, good life and was very happy, and that she's not in any pain now. But I still I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone I can talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work and the will and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. Ryan. Okay. And this is from Amy to us. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes I get emails like this, when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today. Not my usual self. And it would be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. Does that mean you want us to email them? To talk to them? You want me to forward it to them? Connect them to a counselor? I don't think I really have the option. Okay, I'm from Jen. Charlie, a challenger approaches. Yes. Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously. And I thought like, seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at that hotel for 3 years, but I must have gone rusty. Anyway, instead of mines, you have to avoid graves so that you don't disturb the adorable ghost. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. Jen L. Jen's so fun. I love her. Now I will take a swig of water before I read this next newsletter. Keep on protecting Earth with green burials. You've lived your life mindful of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution and generally help out where you can, so why not continue doing that even in death? At least, that's the thinking for a lot of people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly, it's that bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment, and bodies must be buried with a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So better for the people, the environment, and just maybe not so good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore/preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to create formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we're gone. We here at Funerals Monthly think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. I think that's cool too. Also, it's cheaper, so I think that makes it a lot easier for the people you leave behind, which is very nice. But okay, let's see. Cremation with pacemaker. Let's go. Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. Reyes has a pacemaker that we'll need to remove before cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. Let's start by removing Mr. Reyes' pacemaker. Click and drag the scalpel over the heart to make an incision. You can see the pacemaker! Click on the forceps to click and drag the pacemaker out of the heart. Beep. Put the forceps away, then place the round identification tag in the coffin. Mr. Reyes is all set to be cremated now. then we have to make his bones into ash. Using the cremulator will break these bone fragments into ash-like remains. Yep. Put the urn back on the counter, and I'll put the tag in, and the lid. Alright. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. Oh, damn. I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. So, what do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere? Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you about the time we tailgated? Did you ever end up cleaning the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn, that's just it. Stubborn. I see. February 28th, so 14 days later, 10:35 a.m. Oh, so we're going to do some embalming today. Potentially. From Mariana Reyes. Hi Amy, I just wanted to thank you for the service the other month, and apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. It wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. Thought I'd pass this along to you. Thanks, Amy. Oh? From Manuel Scott. Good day, Miss Rose. Disregard our son's will, as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. Manuel Scott. Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront the situation yet. Anyways, they're never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney, or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will, or his advance directive regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. That's rough. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you are uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare. For a funeral we're hosting later in the afternoon. Charlie, is this suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? Let me know. I'm here if you need me. I think it's really nice that they give players the option. It's very considerate. What a jump. Mushrooms! You hate mushrooms so much I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker, look what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it, and I'm writing you on my phone so I don't feel like googling it right now. Anyway, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It's made with what people call a biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients for the soil for plants. I think this one company even authors casket liners for use in green caskets. I think this is what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you. Think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably going to do this. There's no harm in planning ahead, am I right? Jen L. I think that's really cool, actually. Mushroom suit. Oh, this is probably necessary reading. Things to avoid seeing at a funeral. Welcome back. We barely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would be the best way to deliver this month's advice. What not to say at a funeral. We know figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice. Some things will be more comforting to other people. But fortunately, we can deliver a little bit more solid advice on what not to say to someone who is grieving. So, here it is. Funeral Monthly's top 5 things to not say at a funeral. Okay, let me take a swig. Water. 1. At least they're no longer suffering. Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this, / it's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it's true, don't be that jerk and just don't say it. 2. Were they saved? No religious statements, just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is it not always comforting, it can also be insulting. 3. They're with the angels now. See above's note. Then rinse, repeat. 4. Let me know how I can help. This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning won't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them. Take them to their favorite restaurant or buy tickets to see a movie together. I agree. I think saying like, let me know if you need anything, it's a very open statement that it doesn't actually do anything. It's more like, it's almost like just like filling, just fluff. It's not actually anything substantial. And even if you say that you're there to help, when you're in a rough spot, it's really hard to ask for help or think of ways that people can help you with, or you'll just end up feeling like a bother in some ways. Being specific, like, hey, let me cook for you, or let me help you out with a specific thing like babysitting. I agree. I think that's a lot more helpful. And it's very considerate, I think. 5. I know how you feel. Even if you think you do, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus this on yourself. Empathy doesn't involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. For a quicker version of this list that can be applied in any situation, don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say, I'm sorry, if you don't know what else to say. Sound advice. The website hasn't changed, and it hasn't been updated to indicate that it's going to be bought out soon, which I guess is probably a smart business move. Alright. I always forget. I'm personally comfortable with this. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. It is rough being trapped in that sort of legal middle ground where you can't respect the deceased wishes, but rather their families, even if it's not what the deceased would have wanted. I always forget what to click on then. I'm surprised. Maybe it does, and they just didn't mention it in the game, but I'm surprised the choker doesn't leave any marks. All done. Mike will take care of Mr. Scott's makeup, as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. Oh, this funeral. It's going to be rough. I still can't believe he did it. I feel like I should have known, you know? Been able to do something to stop it. There's no way to know. You can't blame yourself. You wouldn't have wanted that. I know. Just... it hurts. Yeah, I know. I heard it wasn't going to be open casket. I'm surprised it's public. Usually funerals for these circumstances are more private. I wish we were closer. Wow. I still can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him when he asked. Man. Man. March 3rd, 10:45 a.m. Chad Grant. A Chad. Welcome. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Roses and Daughters. Rose and Daughters. I keep reading that as plural roses for some reason. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to be leading the way for Rose and Daughters from now on. Chad Grant, CEO and Managing Funeral Director, Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated, Rose and Daughters Division. Man. Oh my god. Matthew, Jeffrey, what the hell? Can I just say, first of all, that this is bullcrap. Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they were monitoring our emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking on your business for so long, so this isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitive. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. Matthew J. Leia Ionesco. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, It was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Thank you. See ya, Danny. Hope you have a good stream. See you later, T-Dark. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you being here, as always. Hehe. Charlotte. Oh, is that her full name? Charlotte? I guess I probably should have expected that from a nickname like Charlie, but I see. I guess it really goes to show the distance between us. Below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you are done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. Wow, how clinical. A what? Death Cafe, 2 subscriber. Come increase awareness of death with a view to helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have a tea and cake, and talk with others about our thoughts, fears, and eliminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity." See everyone at the Upside Down Jar next Thursday. Death Cafe. Okay, Jen, so you're inviting us to this? Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I have to do with an inguinal hernia from 1750. It's the oldest in our collection, and you can even see this bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have a catalog. What is my life? What is that sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event that I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death-positive people there. Sounds like it'd be a safe space. Thanks, Jen. That's very sweet of you. Different funeral traditions. Funeral rites, even in our own culture, may be something many of us may be unfamiliar with. For example, all they know of funeral traditions are what they've seen in media. But, and I think this goes without saying, funeral rites and traditions aren't the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning the body to different aspects of the service itself. Religion offers different paths for dealing with a death, but the goal is almost always the same: offering support, guidance, and ease to people who are grieving. In Judaism, interment usually begins immediately after somebody has passed. Up until burial, the body is never supposed to be alone, so often families will appoint a shomer, a guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial begin as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic community organizations are also often involved and help the family make arrangements for the funeral service and burial. Not all practices are strictly religiously focused. In the aughts in South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that required families to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years. Many families began to cremate more often. There are also companies that compress remains into beads in turquoise, pink, or black called death beads. This also occurs in North America, Europe, and Japan, but remains much more common in South Korea because of the space issue in graveyards and expenses of cremation. Not all practices are somber either. Ever hear of the turning of the bones, or Famadiana? A ritual by the Malagasy people of Madagascar. Fama Diana has families return to an ancestral crypt, exhume the bodies wrapped in cloth before dancing with the bodies to lively music. This practice is a celebration and remembrance and way of keeping the deceased involved in family news. Death can be difficult for many people, obviously, but that doesn't mean there isn't beauty in the ways we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. That's really nice. Just more water. So much reading. I'm really dreading looking at the new website for our stuff. Let's see. It's still the same name. Okay. Not nearly as colorful either. Rose and Daughters, operated by Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated. Hillside Heritage, Rose and Daughters, is the newest funeral home to join Hillside Heritage, proudly serving 56 different communities nationwide since 1984. Or since 1964. Rose and Daughters features several available packages for burials and cremations, a spacious visitation suite for added comfort, and catering available on site. Rely on our dedicated and friendly staff to help you with your funeral needs, whether you need our immediate assistance for a loved one or would like to pre-plan your final arrangements. We offer many packages fitted to suit every size or gathering and budget. Ask us about our selection of caskets, urns, and headstones, the largest in the country. So they have funeral packages. Bronze funeral package, an intimate gathering and memorial for your loved ones, customized to fit your individual needs, best suited for groups of 25 to 50. Silver funeral package, a small but special celebration for your loved one, best suited for groups of 50 to 100. Gold funeral package, give your loved one the best with what we have to offer. A large gathering to celebrate your loved one, best suited for groups over 100. Subject to additional fees and taxes, payment plans available, call us 24/7 for a quote. They didn't list the prices here, but from what I get from the email, they must be very lucrative, very expensive. I forgot to confirm. Prepare Miss Ionesco's body for cremation. Right, we gotta get the jewelry. I'll put it in the center this time. Identification coffin. Alright. She has nice taste in clothes, I think. Yes. Oh, this is a very pretty urn that has birds on it. I'm gonna put the watch, and the tag, and the lid. Okay. Black does look very nice on you, Charlie, I will say. Oh wow. It feels a little more crowded, but I guess it's because no one's sitting on the couch on the left here. Should we do a vigil at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. Oh. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. However you cope, man. Grieving's hard. I have to go through all of her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No, thanks. I mean, but no. I don't know. It's so intimate. Feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me if the others saw the things we have. Yeah, she was kind of a close book. Except to you. Yeah. Yeah, she was special. So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. She was always so careful. Wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Have you heard of what's happening to the driver? No. I haven't wanted to ask Leia. This has been hard enough on them without asking about the legal ramifications of all this. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do to help them. Shouldn't have to deal with the death of their partner by themselves. I'm assuming that's Leia then. Man. Just a second. March 24th, 10:30 a.m. Oh, the plant. I guess there is some life in here after all, huh? Oh god. Okay, Rose and daughter staff. From Chad. Okay, Chad. Hello. As stated in a previous email, here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated. From now on, there is a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. I read that wrong. Second, most importantly, is that no tattoos are to be visible. If you have visible tattoos, make sure they are covered and hidden. Oh boy. Charlie has tattoos, right? I think I saw them in the game art. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell. Oh, that's terrible. I.e., always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the higher quality package. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. That's terrible. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. No. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizer food package. Oh. Our partner Catering Concepts provides high-quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can easily be defrosted at the morning of the funeral. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effective immediately to ensure a smooth transition into the high-quality services Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated is known for. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work? Understandable, Matthew. P.S. I also really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry. And I will not say hangry. Ever. Hello, Charlotte. I have received your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this in the beginning, but we do not perform green burials as they are not cost effective. Of course. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers, though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package complete with embalming caskets and vaults instead. I trust you will ensure that we do not lose any customers, Charlotte. Ah, Chad. Chad, you are not a Chad. You are. Charlotte, I am proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage Incorporated is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here as it is the most cost-effective of the two options. Oop. Arranging my seat because my legs are falling asleep. The first unclaimed body we will be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver aside from cremation. That's very sad, actually. Dr. Zayas? This is a reference to something I have not seen. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs, like a human being. Charlie, a human being. We as a species have seen the beginning of our... Is that all you have to say? Alright, Jen. Home funerals. Home funerals? Like, a funeral at your home? Interesting. Why do it? The appeal of a home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be very comforting. It wasn't that long ago when we were taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays people are quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option and assume this is mandatory. Funeral homes will almost always prepare the deceased using embalming and other methods to make them appear more alive, but isn't this process counterintuitive to the grieving process? Being around the deceased allows the bereaved to spend a longer time period with their loved one's body, which can help them mourn or give opportunities to loved ones and friends to see the deceased ones one last time before they are taken to be buried or cremated. The idea of keeping the deceased bodies at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time, and you can further slow this process by keeping your home cool and dry. To be around your loved ones and to see them decay naturally is an important part of the grieving process. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, they are economical. A traditional funeral, complete with body preparation service, flowers, cards, and many other hidden costs and fees, can cost an upwards of $7,000 to $10,000. When you are able to take care of your loved one yourself, to wash them and dress them, and to organize their viewing from home, the only cost remaining is entirely in the cremation or the burial itself. However, it is important to understand that different rules apply given on what state you're in. In all states, it is legal to have your loved one's body at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, and New York require a funeral director's involvement, from signing the death certificate to overseeing burial and cremation. If this is a route you decide to go for yourself or your loved ones, make sure you follow everything by the book, but just know this may be an option available to you and your loved ones if you so choose. I didn't know that. I've never considered having a home funeral like that. In which I forget to confirm my job. I'll take care of it. Wait, I probably should have looked at... Wait, let me look at her website. If anything has changed. Nope. Okay. Before we cremate this gentleman, we'll need to prepare his body. He doesn't seem to have any valuables on him that would be damaged during cremation, so let's just worry about putting his identification tag into the coffin with him. The gentleman is all set to be cremated now. I'm sorry that we don't even have a name for you. Oh, my bad. Okay, so it's still going to the funeral parlor. Okay, that's good. This body is unclaimed, so yeah, no one is actually going to be here. Which is very, very sad. I'm glad we could at least be here for them. Man. April 9th, 10:19 a.m. Latest contract acquisition hospital. Hello all, we are thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated subsidiary Rose and Daughters just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us access to all the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which intakes over 100,000 patients and receives over $15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated's bright and sustained future. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Coffee Dimka. Dear Mr. Grant, regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep her wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden, we don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. Oh god, I'm scared of how he replied. Oh, this is so scummy. Oh god. Mr. Dimka, I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you, the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional burial package instead. Ugh, that's so terrible. Ugh. I promise you, your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow for everyone to view her wife, ensuring everyone can see her one final time as she was. Beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Oh, that's so scummy. Letting us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about on this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. Oh, that's so scummy. No. Dear Mr. Grant, okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. Oh, that's so exploitive. Charlotte, I see you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose the sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. That is part of your job. But that's such a scummy thing to do. Matthew Jeffrey. Charlie, it's official. I put in my 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself. But you, I'm worried about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? P.S. I'll bring beers over next week. We can talk a bit more freely. Oh, Jen found love. Aw. Dating a special effects makeup artist, and she is like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession, like Ava's demon, and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. And you were slipping there. I was getting worried you had lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she's super death positive and isn't freaked out by my work and isn't too into it like that last dude I saw. Jason? Michael? God, I can't remember. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's like never a conversation stopper. She also totally gets what I mean by when I say like working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento Mori or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked. Feels good. Fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her at the top of the Ferris wheel. Be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anyhow, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're gonna do it? You know you have my support 100%, no matter what you decide. Like, what is that? Quitting our job? I mean, it's understandable. Unless it's something else. The mystery, the intrigue. Water cremation, interesting. Water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. We call it a few different things, like flameless cremation, a bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide. Or perhaps more commonly, resummation. Actually, let me take a drink real quick. Its technical name, though, is actually alkaline hydrolysis. Whatever we want to call it, it's here, and it's an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation. But for the sake of this newsletter, let's call it water cremation. We all know that traditional cremation and burials take a huge toll on the environment, and the high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gas effect being the chief amongst them, and water cremation is an alternative method available for eco-conscious amongst. How does it work? It's basically a water-based chemical process that uses really strong alkali in water heated up very high, about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It basically works like a sped up version of natural decomposition, The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at a factory, and alkaline hydrolysis reuses significantly less energy than traditional cremation processes. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in some places became legal around the first legal of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. That is neat. Oh? Oh! Register your business, 11 permits. If you're interested in starting a funeral services business, you may need the following permits and licenses. 1. Articles of incorporation. The applicant must file an articles of BCA. But I see. So Charlie is thinking of starting their own funeral service. I think that'd be really cool, actually. Especially since they're very unhappy at this job. Understandably so. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. I see we're skipping the shaving part. Let's see. Okay. Okay, will I click on the right place this time? We did it, gang. I'm sorry you couldn't get a stay-at-home funeral like your parents, not parents, like your family would have wanted. Joker. Wait, who's gonna take care of it? I didn't read the name. Was it like Mike? I should have paid more close attention. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. It's so cold in here. I think they have the air conditioning on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk later. It's really nice out. It'd be really good to stretch out my legs. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel bad not doing what Mom asked for. I know, honey, but what that Chad guy said seems right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. No. Yeah, I just want Mom to know I loved her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before. Shh, it's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself. Yeah. I'm gonna miss her. Me too. This feels so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reasons. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, what did you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I heard that that show was so good. I saw that video of that one kid actor doing karaoke. I'm so sorry for upselling your funeral. I mean, I didn't upsell it, but you know, my boss did, but still, that was terrible, and I'm so sorry. August 30th. So, did we start a new business? Oh! Is this our own office? Yo. Oh, and we have such a cute outfit too. That's very nice, actually. Congratulations! Charlie dear, I am so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you and I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to help. Best wishes, Amy Rose. P.S. I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. Aww. I hope you're happy too, Amy. You'll never believe what new job I am working now. Open this email to find out. That's so cool. Hey, Charlie. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told my most important job wasn't steering. It was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree. And thankfully, I concentrated on my driving skills because now I'm working as a, wait for it, a bus driver. A school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? Pretty sure if I said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell you, but for some reason I was worried you'd think less of me. I don't know why. You've never been the judgmental kind. Besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, might I add? I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute, but don't tell Amy I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and for being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day and show you my new wheels, and maybe you can grab a bite to eat. Be seeing ya. Matthew J. Jen, congratulations on your new business. Charlie, I am so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase, but you've stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying not to be too cheesy right now, but I can't wait to be home for next week for our visit and check out your new space. Always, Jen. P.S. Have you heard about these green burial pods? When I find the link in my 1 million open tabs, I'll shoot it over to you. Jen's so cutely written. I love her voice. They do a really good job carrying each character's voices in their emails. I like them a lot. But I guess it has been a year since he got the job at Rose and Daughters. What a year. Eileen Hansen. Today is the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1 p.m. Best, Eileen Hansen. Magnolia Forest. Oh, for the green burials! That's really cool. Funeral Home and Natural Burial Park. Magnolia Forest, named after the magnolia trees that surround the funeral home, specializes at home funerals and green burials in our natural burial park. Our goal is to empower families and encourage them to have a closer relationship with death in the dying process. The death of a loved one can be a confusing and sometimes traumatic time, but we want you to feel fully involved in your loved ones and death care decisions. Whether you're looking to take care for your loved one from the comfort of your home, be present during their cremation, or bury them in our natural cemetery, Magnolia Forest is here to work with you and provide these simple but intimate and meaningful options. Natural Burial Park. Our natural park allows the body to return to the earth and recycle naturally. It is intended as an environmentally sustainable alternative to existing funeral practices. Our park has room for bodies of all sizes and ages, as well as beloved pets. Family also have the option to bury their loved ones themselves if they so choose. Prices. We believe in being transparent about our prices and practices. Right. Hillside Heritage, they did not offer their prices up front. We will happily explain all of our prices, work within your budget, and hope to make you feel comfortable and confident in your decisions. Let us know we can answer any of your questions. Home funeral, $1,000, all inclusive. Green burial and service, $2,250 for adults, all inclusive. Direct cremation, $600, all inclusive. Are these the same price, similar price range as the original Rose and Daughters? I think so. I think the 600 was about right. Except the cremation wasn't all inclusive. Infants are buried at no charge. We provide a 3x3 plot and help opening and closing of grave. Oh, that's really nice. That's so nice, actually. I'll see you soon. A very nice office indeed. Oh. Very different from what we're used to. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much. But thank you for helping me give her the funeral she always wanted. Anyway, I think we're ready to get started now. Oh. No. And Kermit. And pets. Unity. I see, I see. Oh. That was so nice. It definitely provided me with a lot of insight in a business I didn't know about. I didn't know there was such thing as green funerals and whatnot. That was really nice. Thank you for joining me for this stream. I'm gonna go head out and eat dinner. Goodbye.